Hi, my name is Jocelyn Anderson, and I am the Sustainable School Program for Nature Connect here in South Africa. And a big warm welcome to all participants. It is with immense pleasure and genuine enthusiasm that I can be with you all today, albeit virtually, to share Nature Connect's journey, experiences, and lessons learned in delivering education for sustainable development here in South Africa. So I'm just going to start off by giving you a little bit of an overview of Nature Connect and our context in South Africa, our journey pre-2020, and then how that led to the development of the Sustainable Schools program and what that entails. So to begin with, Nature Connect is a multi-award winning nonprofit organization, and we've been around for 20 years delivering impactful education programs. And how we operate is we use a creche to career model. And this is essentially 3 phases which transition from reconnecting children to nature while developing their knowledge and awareness around sustainable living. That's through our Sustainable Schools program. And then we move on to out of school youth and how we can develop these skills through accredited training programs. And really get them ready for a career in the green economy. And then our final phase is through our Nature Care Fund, where we actually place individuals into jobs on species conservation projects, as well as site management projects as well. So really a journey around working with in-school youth, developing their love for the environment and starting to develop that knowledge and some skills, and then ready credited training skills for out of school youth, and then placing them in a job. And ultimately, we're not necessarily focused on getting them in a job in the green economy, but it's around creating environmental champions that if they go on to do any other career, the environment is always at the fore of their mind. So just to give you a little bit of a background around our context, so this is just some of the challenges we face in the African context. And really, Africa lacks a cohesive call to action for sustainable development, and its youth find themselves voiceless and directionless. And this is exacerbated by their disconnection from nature and the loss of value systems that underpin life. So to address this, we created the Sustainable Schools program. But before we did so, pre-2020, we were known as the Cape Town Environmental Education Trust. We were operating in the Western Cape of South Africa. And really, we didn't have a very big footprint. We were just supporting 40 schools on the International Eco Schools program. And going into 2020, we found ourselves no longer able to deliver the Eco Schools program due to a number of factors. And we couldn't just wipe our hands clean and say, okay, well, unfortunately, we are unable to continue to support these 40 schools that we had really created a relationship with for about 10 years. So what we did is we took COVID as an opportunity to develop the Sustainable Schools program, understanding the African context and these unique challenges that we have. We decided to create something that is African-centric, yet universal. So the program and the framework can be implemented across the world, but created something that is a little bit more African-centric, addressing African challenges. So this led to our Sustainable Schools program, and although it was developed during COVID, really it emanated from a need for a clear, unified, and African-centric approach towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And really understanding the context, but with the global community in mind, that African-developed challenges require African-developed solutions. So what we hope to do is that through the creche to career model, where we've established processes and partnerships that underpin the sustained empowerment of the next generation of environmental champions, we use the Sustainable Schools program as just the first step in that model. And the program integrates education for sustainable development into schools and communities using partnerships and collaboration and resources and initiating active projects that are bespoke to meet the needs of Southern African schools. So this is the framework in which we deliver our education for sustainable development. And the three key sort of touch points is developing sustainable schools, the engagement through our online hub, and our immersive experiences. So what we do is we employ all of these in a cyclical process to allow teaching and learning to happen anywhere in the classroom, wider community, and really anywhere in between. So we support this whole school participation in continuous learning, action, reflection, and adaptation process. And I'm going to go through each of these briefly. So to start off with, Online Hub, the development was sparked by COVID because we could no longer continue to offer our programs face-to-face, and we need to go online, as so many others did. But even though COVID relatively come and gone, there will always be those schools, especially the rural schools that we work with, that have access to technology, but they don't have close support systems nearby to support them in their delivery of education for sustainable development. And this is the way that they're able to get that support through resources as well as through connections. So the Online Hub is designed to connect communities, connect schools with schools, partners with schools, partners and partners, and integrate education for sustainable development through access to quality curriculum-aligned materials and resources, and really creating a community of practice and in-person and online support for all participants involved. So this is just the journey of what schools would take as part of the Sustainable Schools program. And really what schools gain out of this is they are ultimately producing school environmental management plans and environmental policies, which allow this work to be embedded in the school. So if a teacher leaves, it doesn't fall apart, and the school has fully adopted these projects and this way of thinking, teaching and learning. So I'm not going to go through the journey in detail, but I also just wanted to share with you the importance of, at the end of the cyclical journey, there's this recognition and reward system. And really it's about improving knowledge for learners and teachers. It's around, there's an enhancement of reputation for these schools, and it's empowering the teachers and learners as well by participating. So the key points around the developing sustainable schools is that we assist schools to develop environmental management plans, which is done automatically through their reporting process online. We help initiate action projects in the schools. We offer accredited teacher training workshops and also individualized teacher support sessions. So understanding that every school is unique and their context is unique, we look at that whole school environment and the community and figure out ways in which to best support them, what they can do to ultimately meet their needs and the community's needs as well. And then the last aspect is the immersive experiences. Now, although Nature Connect offers these experiences, such as overnight camps, excursions, and in-school lessons, we also lean on partner organizations to offer these components to help really support the schools in connecting their learners to nature. So it's not just to say that we are offering this. This is where partner organizations play a big role as well. These are just some photos of learners having an opportunity to connect to nature. So coming from 2020 now to 2023, we now support schools, more than 159 schools across the country, utilizing partners as well as our own network of staff. And really, we've been able to just expand the program under our own banner. So our reach, we've got 159 schools registered in 6 provinces. And since its launch, we've managed to reach over 67,000 learners and 300 teachers in South Africa. And over the next 5 years, the goal is to scale exponentially, expanding our footprint to reach thousands of schools in multiple African countries, as well as some countries across the globe. So just a little bit around the proof of this concept of this online hub and how we're creating those connections. So these are a few screenshots of the online hub. The first is just where schools and organizations are, they are pinpointed on the map, and there's a little card around the information around what each party is doing and what they can offer, where they're located, contact details. So we're really using those partners and those connections to implement the framework across South Africa. And then it's really about being able to connect, share knowledge, and exchange. So there's also a place on the online platform for access to curriculum resources, and not just our resources. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. So we also put partner resources on here. And again, it's just really about just amplifying that knowledge exchange and shared resource structure. So then the next component is our school group section. And really each school, when they register, they get a school group, and it's kind of like a Facebook page where there's an activity feed, they do their reporting here. And then there's also this feed that they just input all the information around what they've been doing. And this is a wonderful learning, sharing, and just resource tool for us for our M&E as well, monitoring and evaluation. So we share this information with our partners. Partners can also come on here and engage with the schools and see what they're doing directly. So it's a wonderful way to just create that community of practice online and have that sharing and learning opportunity. But then also on the ground and in practice, what that looks like is a lot of the events that we host in terms of action days. Those are things like beach cleanups, waterway cleanups, rehabilitation plantings, where we bring together communities, various schools and partner organizations to offer this opportunity for learners to take action for the environment. And the one example here online as well is just where a school they were sharing just how they managed to collect all bottle tops and work with an organization here that then in exchange for those bottle tops donates a wheelchair to a community member in need. So these are just some of our partners. We've got many, many more partners that I couldn't fit on one page that we work with. And really Sustainable Schools is playing a networking or concierge type role in that ecosystem. And as I mentioned, partnerships allow us to extend our reach and deliver our program at scale without requiring an endless investment of resources on our part. And we're able to transform social systems that influence the environment. So we bring together a network of like-minded individuals to synthesize new ideas to advance environmental education and environmental and social justice. So we're not just working with partners or organizations specifically looking at the environment, but also looking at social issues. So it's really a holistic approach to implementing sustainable development. So some of the lessons learned, the journey has not been without its challenges, but the challenges have yielded valuable lessons. So a few of these is to be adaptable. So diverse contexts require diverse solutions. So each community and school will be unique in its needs. So to look at that holistically and not try and fit a school into your program, but really to see how you can tailor make your offering to meet the needs of the schools. And then foster ongoing engagement and collaboration. This is key for us specifically, but we are all trying to reach the same common goal. And by working together, we can do so much more. And these relationships don't just happen overnight. It takes work. So really focus on fostering those relationships. And then addressing resource constraints. So many schools will not have the resources available to implement fancy projects. And that's not necessary. We found that dedicated schools will always find a way, and there is beauty in innovation as well. And schools make do with what they have and learn to lean on community and other partner organizations to help support those projects. And then lastly, don't underestimate the beauty and the power of celebrating and sharing success by recognizing schools' hard work. Teachers and learners involved in that process is really valuable, and not just to celebrate the successes, but also to acknowledge the failures, because that is where we learn. And I don't like to call it failures, but the challenges, to acknowledge them and see how one has overcome those is also a true learning opportunity. So thank you all very much for allowing me to share the Sustainable Schools program with you today. And through this event, really, it's evident that our collective dedication to education for sustainable development resonates really far louder than any geographical constraints. So as you do embark on this journey, do remember that every lesson taught, every idea shared, and effort made contributes to the betterment of our world. Thank you so much.